bothering your mind, this is the time. Pertaining to this book or your view of African spirituality, past experience, or anything that any question you want to ask, now be the time.
Plasma physics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear the word since plasma physics. And from what you talk, say now the level when they feel the see with eye.
Yes.
Nine plasma physics.
Mm-hmm.
So this book you write now, I won't know whether it could fit catapult us enter the spiritual realm we fit understand within plasma.
Exactly. Yes. Now what you let me write this book be that the first chapter you hear the title was the keys of issue. I write about the way our ancestors say they enter that ring. Now what I put for them. So when you read down the principles there, I mentioned three essential things when I always say every African spiritual system they do before that they connect to the ancestors. So the keys there. In the process of doing the offering, that they use that system as a gateway to access the plasma ring by doing offering of chicken, goat, and ram. That's the gateway to that plasma ring. That's how our ancestors say they access them. So it's easy to access. It not really require much study. When you know the thing, you don't need grammar. But the way Western people they make them with too much grammar, they go load them. When they talk about it, it can't be like say you don't know any knowledge.
Don't confuse
but
you.
It will confuse you. If it's knowledge genius, if you understand them. So I write about them inside the book, and the book will give you the knowledge, the wisdom. You don't already know them too. I just confirm them with science. It inside. In fact, I start from chapter 1. So the thing where you define, so I want to access this plasma ring. It's inside the book.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for the question. Okay, Apa.
My name is Peter. Talking about the book you wrote about plasma physics. You were talking about the atom.
Yes.
That is destroyed, created, it's transformed from one
Energy, yes.
Energy. Now, as humans, we have 3 states too. Transcend from the body, the spirit, and the soul.
Mm-hmm.
So, how can you narrow it down for us? Like, we cannot be destroyed as humans if we leave this earthly, this bodily state now.
Yes.
Or transform to another realm, like the spirit state. That is when we were late.
Mm-hmm.
Religious call it reincarnation. Or so.
Yes.
That's why some also call it karmic debt. Like you come back and you pay karmic debt in another different form. Some say you die, you come back to
it's still reincarnation.
Yes.
From another different place.
Yes.
So how can you narrow it down? Does the book talks about how the human soul or the human body can be reincarnated or can be transformed to another realm?
Okay, thank you very much. What you are talking about now is reincarnation. The soul moving from one realm to another, especially after death. What you have said is true that we are made up of the physical bodies and spiritual essence. So when the person crosses over, the flesh will always go back to the physical world. The flesh will die, will rot, will recycle. Then the spirit will go back to divinity. This is the way it always happens. It will go back to wherever it gravitates from to reincarnate again.
Can I add something?
This book is not focused on reincarnation, but what it focuses on is the gateways into the plasma ring. There's also a theory to reincarnation. It is an obvious fact that we reincarnate into our own bloodline. Okay, most times you reincarnate into your family tree, in the sense that you carry the DNA codes of your parents, and your children will naturally carry your DNA codes. To prove this fact, we have what they call DNA tests, especially for modern day children. How will you know a child is yours? Because it's carrying your code. So there is no way a soul can reincarnate into another race, that a black person will become a white man in the next life, or a Chinese man will become a black man. It's impossible, because you must carry down the same code, ancestral code, to your next generation. It cannot be possible that you will become a white man in your next life. The only way you can become a white man is maybe if you get married to a white person and then you have children with that person. So the ancestors will come, or the children will come from any of the part, either from the mom or from the dad side. and they will always express that code inside their bloodline. Okay, so we must strive to plan our life not only for this lifetime but to the next, because we are going to reincarnate back into our bloodline, mostly in the bloodline of our children. So there is a saying that the way you make your bed, that is the way you sleep on it. If you look at the Western world now, you see that their countries is very, very okay, because they know that they are going to come back again to that very country. So they make sure that everything works well. They plan for the future. They plan 500 years into the future. They always leave generational wealth for their children. But in Africa, we don't care. We have been indoctrinated that we only have one life to live, that we are going to heaven or hell. It's a very big lie. The people that are giving us that ideology, they are not living to that. They are creating generational wealth for their children,
Beyond
children. They are becoming billionaires. They are even stealing your own wealth to add to their own. But meanwhile, they tell you that you will go to heaven when you die. Should you work for them, work for their religion, and do everything they tell you, then when you die, you get reward. But their reward is here. They are billionaires. So they definitely know that they will reincarnate through the bloodline of their children into a place of immense wealth. And they are preparing for that already. But meanwhile, they tell you you should wait for heaven. So if you don't plan for your bloodline now,
generation,
you will probably reincarnate into a family of poverty. Maybe things go hard there where things go hard.
come back and meet them.
And you come back and meet them. And the white people know this. You see Europe, they already plan everything working for them. Look at China, Japan, they know this, that they are reincarnating back to the same country. So we need to prepare, but Africa does not know this. Africans believe that we go to heaven. We are coming back to suffer in this the same shade if we not correct them. So when we plan living our life now, we should not live life only this lifetime. We must plan for the next generation. We must create generational wealth for our children. Created the altar. It's not a permanent altar. I set it up to thank the ancestors for today, to thank them for giving me the knowledge to write this book, and to ask for their blessings for this very gathering. I ask for protection, I ask for prosperity, I ask for understanding for everybody that we come here today, that they will understand this topic and that we have the interest in African spirituality. And I was just grateful because I'm so happy today. I'm very, very happy. It took me almost 5 years to write this book, and today we are launching it. After all the stress and things have gone so up and down, and finally the fourth one came out, and now we are right here. So we need to do this kind of thing. So I was venerating them, pouring libations to them, acknowledging them, thanking them, and it's part of the process quite naturally. So with this book now, plasma physics, for you to practice this well, you need to have an altar. The altar is simply a focal point for like a spiritual space or a sacred space.
The connection.
Everybody needs to have a sacred space. It's just a symbolic representation of your spiritual essence, to physicalize your spirituality in the real life, to let yourself know that you take it seriously. This guy Carl Jung, the famous psychoanalyst, we say to make the unconscious conscious. So that place is we make it as a nexus to connect with divinity, to show that we are serious, that this should be a gateway for divinity. And of course, the three elements I put in this book was represented there. Exactly. And when you read the book, you will know. And this is present in all our spiritual systems, even in the church, the mosque, everywhere. We are simply doing it in an African way, which is a direct connection to nature. So for plasma physics, talks about the spirit world. How do you assess the spirit world? By doing the spirit things. The word spirit made up of two things: spirit and rites. Okay, African spirituality, you do rite, you do ritual. The ritual is the process, the symbolic process of connecting with divinity, speaking into the universe, talking to the universe, talking to the other side, opening the gateway, the veil. This is the way we have always done it. So this is what we did today, exactly what we did. And there's nothing else to do. It's as simple as that. Okay, so thank you very much. You have another question? Okay. So please, any more questions? Zano, you get question? Just saying, you don't get question. Please, let's stop now or be free. Okay. Yes. First of all, it will be a sacred space. You can choose any part of your house or your room. Of course, it will contain things that may have meaning to you. It can be pictures or status of. Yes.
There's a particular person assigned to such deity.
Yes.
That will be serving
exactly
after they have gone.
Yes.
And if that person fail to perform those rituals our forefathers have been doing,
Yes,
Ma-
with
say
enormous
something.
amount
the
of
thing
money.
eventually turns around,
Mhm.
start fighting that person
Mm.
or fighting the family
Mm-hmm.
for not, carrying out that process
Yes.
our fathers have left behind
Yes.
for us to do it.
Yes.
For death,
Program
poverty, and
return.
different things will start coming
Mhm.
into the family.
I understand
So
this.
what's
Let me
happening?
explain.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is that most of our forefathers, when they were practice African spirituality, due to their deep understanding of the mysteries or the secrets of certain deities, they form what we call pacts, generational pacts with them, that they are going to be venerating these deities to the next generation. So the essence of this is that they are supposed to be looking out for some people in society. As you're venerating a deity, you dedicate yourself to that deity, you are supposed to be doing some sort of intercession, intervention, or spiritual work on behalf of the rest of the community people. Now, when that person fails to live up to that responsibility, what happens? People that you are supposed to help, to reach out to in this lifetime, they will be suffering because you didn't do your job. Those people will have nobody to direct them, to point them in the right direction, to be there for them. So most of the spirit they get upset, say, okay, since you are not doing your responsibility, because of you, people are suffering and dying and you don't care, you too will not have peace. So they will make sure that they make your life very difficult because you didn't do what you were supposed to do, or nobody is taking that line. So naturally we see that person struggling because you didn't do what you are supposed to do. So people that are supposed to get that knowledge, that wisdom, they will be suffering. They will suffer in this lifetime. So you cannot be enjoying living your life while people are suffering. They will make sure you also suffer. Something like a covenant. This inception of Christianity only started within one generation we are cut off. Like Christianity came to Africa within less than 200 years ago. Meaning my father, my dad's father was not a Christian. His old generation, they were not a Christian. Christianity came during my dad's lifetime. Even my dad was not a Christian, but some people accepted. Now, those people that accepted and now give birth to the next generation. I would say my generation is that generation that were born fully into Christianity. If you are from, let me say, 75 and above to 1980, 1975, you may likely be born into Christianity. I was born into Christianity. So Christianity affected us only one generation. So, meaning in our previous reincarnation, we were not practicing it. So what is happening now is that we are disconnected and we can reconnect back easily if we understand the practice and we go back to it. So those pacts that many of us made with deities, those gifts that we have, we still have it in us. But due to the disconnect, we are not getting it right. So when some people complain that spirit is disturbing them, this deity, they see it in dream and this and that, it's not today. Before a deity will appear to you, you have a connection to that thing. You should go and trace that connection, either for good or for evil. And if it's something you have done before that is making this thing come, you correct it. If it's something that you need to do, maybe you made a vow in your previous lifetime, you need to fulfill it so that there will be balance. Nature does not know good and evil. What nature knows is balance. So as far as that balance is not there, there will be problems. It's just like when you plant a seed in the soil. If the seed does not germinate, there is two problems. It means that the soil is not good or the seed is deficient. So if the seed is okay and it's not growing well, you need to take the seed from that soil and put in a nutrient filled soil. So you have to transplant. If you put it there, it germinates. If it does not germinate in a nutrient filled soil, it means that seed is not a good seed. You need to do something to it, treat it, or bring a new one. So if you're having difficulty with relation to African spirituality, my advice is to find a way to correct it. Don't throw it away. You cannot pray it away. You cannot kabash it away. You cannot run. Settle that thing. Bring that balance, and then live your life and just go like that. That way, you get the full benefits of the practice. Okay. Any more questions, please?
Yes.
Yes, please.
I had a question that I got from what he was trying to say earlier.
Okay.
He was trying to talk about something like reincarnation.
Okay.
And I'm wondering, since we are only allowed to reincarnate within our genetic code, if, for instance, somebody passed on and the children, they are venerating that person that has passed on.
Okay.
By the time the person reincarnates, what happens to the children that are venerating person
Okay, as an
at the other
ancestors.
side. Yes, at the
Well,
other side.
what happens that we have different aspects of a person's reality. It's more than three actually. Most people think we just made of spirit, body, and soul. It's not. It's more than that. We have etheric body. We have what they call astral body. So when a person pass on, maybe a popular person, let me give you an example of Marcus Garvey, Bob Marley. These are people that are icons of African Pan-Africanism. Now, most of us still venerate Marcus Garvey, but I believe that he may have reincarnated back. But what we are venerating is that essence, that spirit that he left behind, his work, his way of life, what he represented,
Legacy.
his legacy. When we're venerating Marcus Garvey, we are venerating the spiritual essence he left. So that essence is still in our, it's still in the heater, it's still here with us, it's still in the astral plane there. But the soul of Marcus Garvey probably may have reincarnated in Jamaica in his family bloodline. He will come back as a full slate, everything wiped off, living his life. But that former Marcus Garvey, his spiritual essence is what we are connecting to be like him, to emulate him, and to tap from his inspiration. So that is what we do when we call ancestors. Most of the ancestors we're venerating, they are probably reincarnated back, and maybe some of them are taught to Christians. We don't know. But what they do before, that is what we are following. So it's spiritual essence. So how you live your life matters. The kind of legacy you left behind, your life, you live it well. If you make a lasting legacy, when you are gone, it will still be there. You do something bad, so some people commit abomination, it is still there that it waits there for France. So that this is what we venerate.
So you acknowledge the fallen hero, you acknowledge them.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yes, please.
Walter, I
Okay.
think I came a bit late.
No problem.
Yeah, but when I entered now, I think I said lots to learn here and lots to ask.
Yes. Yes, please.
Yeah, I think our topic is plasma
Physics.
which these new modern days we have this cloning.
Exactly.
In the Western world, cloning. We
Yes.
talk about someone dying and reconnecting towards the light. Right?
Mhm.
Now there are questions here which I needed to just put on to get the clear light.
Okay.
Then I read some of your books and your works was really impressive, and that's why.
Thank you.
And what I noticed when you talked about this, this plasma and the reincarnating and these new modern days, those who passed, people now can, ice the soul, ice their body,
Yes. Yes.
and reclone the body. Meaning, many of the persons we see on social media today now are recloned. All right, but when you talk about reincarnation, we believe in Africa. We believe like if we want to pray our forefather, I have to call the name, I have to call the first one, call the ones that are in the line.
Yes.
If what the works you said, if their works are to be remembered, meaning
Yes.
the person that here can be somewhere else.
Yes.
And we, because he lives with us during these times before he passed away, and we are calling upon him, right, to pray through him
Yes.
to our way forward.
Yes.
What is the take of these souls, the ones that are passing? What are the souls of these present ones which are still alive, knowing we're trying to understand our culture, learning from different insight, plasma of the figures of the physics, say we understand our new modern technology, because the thinking of this generation is different from the thinking of the previous generation.
Yes, exactly.
We can't ignore that because the way they think is different.
Yes.
Now, those who doesn't believe that, they believe that you pray this forefather. The modern world is telling them, reclone. If you can reclone, because in the next 10 years, that people will be recloning themselves.
Yes,
It's going on. It's going on now. It's going on now.
Yes.
Recloning. People can reclone themselves. They are having duals of themselves. How can we understand as Africa? How can we maintain this culture of surviving the ones that just as we pray our forefathers? Is this ones going to be off, or how can we use these your teachings to understand how we can manage these our forefather legacies by carrying them on?
Okay.
I don't know if you get.
I get it. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, you have like 3 questions there.
Yeah.
You talked about cloning.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you also talk about carrying the ancestors' legacy forward. Okay. I'll first treat cloning. First of all, when the Western world are talking about cloning a human being,
Hybrid.
that human being is not a natural being, quite naturally.
Being, artificial.
DNA is taken from a people, and the embryo is placed in a test tube to clone. The soul essence will be taken from the DNA of the donor, the person that produce the sample. So the spirit can come from one of those ancestral line to be cloned. So the cloning may carry the physical attributes of that person, but it will not carry the same soul of that original person. It can never carry the same soul. It's just like the way you photocopy an original document. The original is still the original. The photocopy can never be the same like the original. So that clone copy will not last. It will not be as strong as the original. It will not be original. It cannot be organic as the original. You say, yes, I clone myself, but that thing you clone it resembles you, but can never be like you. Just like when we have twins. We have twins that are very similar, but they are never the same. It can never be the same with the original. You also mentioned keeping the legacy alive. Part of keeping the legacy alive is what we are doing here. As you can see, we are trying to modernize African spirituality by actually writing about it, doing this kind of a book launching conference / symposium to talk about it. They say a problem shared is a problem solved. So part of the understanding of it is talking about it. We need to talk about it. What does it entail? What can it do for us? What are the benefits? What are the applications? What are the superstitions? How do we separate the facts from the fiction? So we can only keep it alive by carrying on the tradition, by actually practicing it. They say practice makes perfect. While we are practicing it, we should throw away those aspects of our tradition that does not serve us. Those ones that are wasting our time, those ones that are mere ceremonies, that are overtly expensive, or just downright superstitious belief. We must do away with that, and we must reinvent it and see ourselves, see African spirituality in the future. So we must physicalize it. In those days when we were growing up, I was in GSS, we used to joke that African spirituality does not have a textbook. They say you don't get textbook. And they want to study and we just laugh about it. But little did we know that we have this knowledge, but people are hiding it. Our colonizers were hiding it. But now that we are adults, we discovered it now, we have to start redeveloping it. That is part of this writing I'm doing, so reinventing it to make it adaptable. One reason we find out why modern youths run away from African spirituality is the way it is practiced. If you see many shrines, it is not modern. You will just see a place that tie with a raffia and a palm fronds. The place is very dirty, empty, and they will say it's not progressive. Compare typical African shrine and a church. Most youth will choose the church, even if the church is telling you lies. A church is modern, they have AC, modern instruments, soft share, people dress fine, everywhere smell nice, and it looks progressive. Same thing with a mosque. But most of our people, we neglect this African spirituality because we don't value it. We don't value it. So you see most of our temples, they look very dirty, empty, dejected, and dirty. Sometimes when we do offerings, they don't even clean it up. So modern youth are ashamed to identify with that kind of thing because it's look backwards. The same thing we practice in African spirituality is the same thing the Indian people, the Chinese people, Japanese people practice, but they modernize it to go with modern day realities by building modern buildings, actually writing on it, talking about it, doing research, putting modern day technologies into the temples, putting internet screens and computers in the temples. But when you come to African shrine, nothing there, you go wrong. The place like now hungry, the poverty, the smell for the white people won't go that kind of place.
Only to
follow the tribe to modernize. So what we as modern day youths need to do, we need to start upgrading it by actually investing into it, building modern buildings, supporting it both financially and morally to make it modern so that people can identify with it, to associate with it, to make it cool again. Part of the reason I'm writing all this, when people say you cannot explain, I also will tell you enough years. Books they now you now don't want to books they you now don't want to read. The knowledge is hard there, you need to get access to it. Now we have a YouTube, you come online, go on the YouTube channel, you get a lot of information, you get access to information, you get people that actually went to school and they are still practicing and they have updated so many things. This is how we keep it alive, by modernizing it, talking about it, organizing it, and investing in it, building modern temples, furnishing with modern day technologies, so that when you go to a temple, you can see a computer system, you can see books, you can see access to information, and you say, okay, I can study this thing, I can identify with it. This is how we keep it alive. Okay. Modern day youths, make it open the gates of enlightenment and illumination, and make it bring blessing to everybody who come this place today. We give this cola to the ancestors. They say he who brings cola brings life. So we come with life, we come with prosperity, we come with love, we come with happiness. We ask that the four elements of the head take this cola. Okay, we give this cola to the elements of the east, to the west, the north, and to the south. We ask for that take this drink, God bless us. We give you this drink to the issue. We ask that you open the doors of understanding to our modern day youth, to bring a reawakening to the consciousness of the African people. We ask that this knowledge that this book will bring enlightenment, we bring freedom, we bring illumination, we bring understanding and understanding to the study and practice of African spirituality. We say this prayer in the name of all our ancestors that stand for truth, justice, righteousness, and harmonious balance. It's Siagwari. Yes. So, give your own. Take your own. Take your own. It's
Guardian God of the crossroads.
okay.
Yes, sir.